Well, I just got home from Disney. Let's see what's going on the internet. Amy Schumer's new series is coming soon, and she looks fatter than ever, and people need to know why. Well, looks like we have a question to answer and a bone to pick. I told you not to come back here around this time. Don't worry, he'll go away in a few seconds. The actress/comedian is excited about her upcoming show, Life with Beth, where she will charm millions with that good old Amy Schumer humor.
Well, my vagina itch.
But Amy is pissed off that instead of people talking about that Amy charm and comedy,
just a few questions.
I can just save you some time. 30,000 drinks. I don't really chew my food, and I'm like barreling toward 40.
I just meant like any pre-existing conditions.
I'm a woman.
they're talking about how fat her face looks. Hey guys, welcome to Closets Commentary, where I slap on a bra and break down internet drama with a dash of commentary in my closet with a low edit video where we can just chat, because sometimes these hands be a hurtin' with my highly edited videos. So you do not rot that beautiful brain of yours by scrolling through social media yourself. And all I ask is for you to hit the subscribe button. That's it. That's all I want. Okay, now that that's all over, let's talk about Amy Schumer's face. Amy Schumer, a hilarious woman.
See my scar? That's
There.
my vagina.
She is funny. And she is a comedian.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
Give me your hand. Guess where your finger is right now.
Don't forget it.
My had a voice. It would sound like Terry Gross with just a mouthful of crackers.
So though Amy Schumer's movie is called I Feel Pretty, she wasn't feeling very pretty about comments being made about her appearance. And the comments that the comedian heard, well, she did not find it funny either. So Amy was recently on Jimmy Fallon, and the first thing she had to tell him was,
You know I was the first female comedian ever on your show?
Oh my gosh, I
Isn't
think
that amazing?
well, people had to tell her that her face looks fatter than normal. The comments actually got so bad that the Jimmy Fallon YouTube team turned off the comments, because that's all people were talking about. Not her movie, not her extremely funny joke, and she did not find that to be amazing. So she took to Twitter to tell people, excuse you, she's got a medical condition. Thank you so much for everyone's input about my face. I've enjoyed feedback and deliberation about my appearance, as all women do for almost 20 years. I don't know about you, but I love when people talk about my appearance, especially in a negative way. It does wonderful things to my self-esteem. And you're right, it is puffier than normal right now. I have endometriosis, an autoimmune disease that every woman should read about. Hey, do you have a vagina? Huh?
Well, my vagina itched and
Did ya do it? Did ya read about endometriosis? Oh, it's my job to tell them about it, and the fact that I have it as well. Let me give you a brief description. Endometriosis is a disorder in which tissue similar to the tissue that lines the uterus grows outside the uterus in places where it doesn't belong. With endometriosis, deposits of tissue that act just like the tissue lining the uterus develop outside the uterus. This tissue thickens, breaks down, and bleeds with each period. But the blood has no way to leave the body, and it becomes trapped. Now this results in some very fun periods, and by fun, I mean extremely painful. So painful that many women have described it as the cramps feeling like contractions that women feel when they're giving birth. Now, I've never given birth, but I can attest to the first thing I said when I got extremely bad cramps was that it feels like I'm giving birth. I got to feel the joy of pregnancy without even being pregnant, and it was horrible. But with me having endo, I had absolutely no clue that along with it making you look like you have a pregnant belly, I didn't know that can travel to your face as well. And according to Dr. Hugh Taylor, that's not really a symptom of endometriosis. I ain't never heard anyone say, shit, my endometriosis is acting up, I got the fat face. That is a new one. Now, what Dr. Taylor does say is puffy face is actually a common symptom of adrenal disease or Cushing's disease, as well as steroid or hormone use. Cushing syndrome is common in adults between the ages of 30 and 50 and affects 3 times as many women as men. Girl power, and Amy Schumer is one of those lucky women. Oh yeah! Cushing disease happens when the body produces an excess amount of cortisol, known as the stress hormone. Wait, what? I'm like 1000% stressed all the time. The condition can also be caused as a result of taking glucocorticoid, which are typically used to treat asthma, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and other inflammatory diseases, like skin rashes and back and joint pain. The symptoms include weight gain, thin arms and legs, a fatty hump, and lastly, a round face. Back to her tweet. There are some medical and hormonal things going on in my world right now, but I'm okay. Historically, women's bodies have barely been studied medically compared to men. Now, I've never looked into the history of medical studies and women compared to the history of medical studies in men's bodies, but if it is true, I believe it. Why? Because of my experience with the amount of doctors who just threw some pills at me and said I was probably being dramatic is through the roof. So yeah, totally over dramatic. I just laid in my throw up to get attention. You're right, you are a doctor, you know everything. So Amy actually had a few surgeries to help her endo out.
Spots of endometriosis are removed.
Saying the disorder caused her lifelong pain, but the removal of her uterus and appendix brought her relief.
And I can tell you, the moment I woke up from my surgery, I felt 1,000 times better in years. I had no clue I could feel so good because I got so used to just the pain and feeling pregnant all the time and the morning sickness and being sick and my feet hurt and of course the wonderful no baby bloat. Anyway, link to that video and the surgery, the procedure, the doctor, the post-op is linked below. And if it's not linked below, yell it at me. I probably just forgot and I'll make sure to put it in there. I also believe a woman doesn't need any excuse for her physical appearance and owes no explanation. I agree, but she is giving us an explanation right now. And I also know that if you show up on TV, you can breathe a different way and people are gonna ask, why did you do that? It's just how it is. Some people are very nosy. I am one. But with this, and when it comes to weight and whatnot, I wouldn't ask someone, so why are you fat? Whether you're a host or someone came over and looked bigger, or you're just on the internet and looked bigger, I would never go type to someone, you're looking fat, so I need to know why. Clearly, most likely they're eating too much or they have Cushing disease and also eating too much. Or maybe they joined fat acceptance. I'm not sure, but that's not something that I would ask. But it is something I expect people on the internet to ask, especially with Amy Schumer. But I wanted to take the opportunity to advocate for self-love and acceptance in the skin you're in. Like every other woman/person, some days I feel confident and good as hell. And other days I want to put a bag over my head. Very normal things. Sometimes I too want to go out in public like this. That way, no one will ever look at me or talk to me. But no, I think that's very normal. Traditional people or stereotypical, I can't think of the word right now, but really beautiful people go out sometimes and think that they are just the ugliest thing and struggle with their looks. Now, many of Amy's critics say they're not critiquing her for her looks, they're critiquing her for her jokes or lack thereof. I don't personally find her funny. I have never watched a movie of her being a main character. I've only seen her be the off character, and I just thought maybe she's just not my type of humor. And personally, I've never heard anyone say, oh my God, Amy Schumer is a comedic genius. Honestly, she got on my nerve after I saw her on that period commercial.
It's come to my attention that I have a vagina that I know very little about.
And I knew that she had endometriosis, and I was like, you struggle with endo and you're presenting periods like this?
Okay, now I brought this from home, and I stole this from your bathroom. Now tell me if I'm doing this right.
You're making people think that periods seem easy.
So I just kind of put it in here.
Liar! Hypocrites! Show them the truth. Make the blood flow through your pants. Black out from the pain. Throw up while the doctors toss ibuprofen at your lifeless body. And then they whisper into your ear, you get up because I know that you're being dramatic. That's what I want to see. Anywho, she's probably not the producer or director of a frickin' Pads commercial, so I didn't hold it against her all that much. Only about 98%.
Hop a tampon in and go do what you want.
Anywho, I thought it was just me, but it's not. I don't watch many people who cover comedians, but then she got very political on her Twitter, and she made sure to make it known what her political views are. And then people started to critique that and her comedy. All the worst things about Amy Schumer have nothing to do with her appearance. There's enough reasons to not like Amy Schumer. Besides her looks. She gives us plenty to work with. I agree, the worst thing about Amy Schumer have nothing to do with her looks. So recently, Amy would make her political statements very clear, and people got pissed. Actually, I did see quite a bit of people wondering why she's allowed to make these types of comments and not get blackballed by Hollywood, but others can't. The Tonight Show should be ashamed. People can get blacklisted for simply saying Palestine should be free, but she gets to go on a press tour. But according to Amy, people give her hate and a lot of criticism, and of course don't think she's funny.
You've got too much sperm, and you guys better hang on to it, if you know what I mean.
Because she's not skinny. Amy Schumer suggested that the people who don't like her are just mad she's not thinner. I think they're mad I'm not prettier, but I still feel like I have a right to speak, and I think that they don't want any woman to speak. What do you think? Is Amy Schumer unlikable because of her appearance, or is she unlikable because she's just Amy Schumer?
My pussy's f***ing magic.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining me on this low edit video day. Don't forget to subscribe. I personally have a very busy schedule. I have to go dwell on the doctor who said I'm imagining my pain because I can't let things go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared.